Well, hello, everybody. Hi, Shelby.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Do You with Adonica, unfiltered, actually. So Shelby can swear if she wants because it's unfiltered. If you're angry about I don't know, whatever.
Something.
I know you can do anything you want because it is unfiltered. And we're going to have a fun time today because Shelby's got this wonderful business. And I'm just going to do a quick intro for her with my reading glasses on. You ready?
Ready.
Okay, so Elora, right? Last name?
Eloria.
Eloria. So Shelby Eloria is a style coach, personal image strategist, and a keynote speaker. Using captivating blend of storytelling and immersive workshop activities, Shelby gives her clients and community a chance to see themselves in a new light and understand how they can align their personal image with their style for transformational results. Okay, tell us what you do. Just tell us because I think this is when you told me when we first met at a BX, I was just floored by, I'm just going to say it, what you wore and how you presented yourself. And I'm like, girlfriend, yeah, need to get on YouTube and tell the world what you do because this is so important, especially now with a lot of our young students, males and females, coming into the workforce, right?
Mhm.
And
Totally.
catching them to be professional. You let
Yeah.
everyone in the world know what you do because I think
What
it's
I do.
cool.
Well, and it's not just about going into the workforce. That's a big part of it, but it's also just for living life.
Yeah.
And so my business is All Set Style, and it's an image consulting business where we help people own their presence. And part of owning your presence is aligning who you are on the inside with what you wear and how you present yourself. And it's interesting when I first started contemplating starting this business, I had this realization, like we wear clothes every day, right? Most people do anyways, hopefully.
Hopefully.
And and it was like, but where do we learn about getting dressed or like what to wear and what works for us? Oftentimes it's like, well, what was in on trend when we were in our late teens, early 20s, mid 20s? Usually that's what we stick with. And then for a lot of us, we get this like image of ourselves on what we can wear or we can't wear. We see ourselves as either I'm stylish or I'm not, or whatever that is. And it can kind of cause us to use clothing to hide and to be like an armor and guard us.
Right.
And so I was like, you know what? I want to create a business that helps to teach people not just like, okay, this is what to wear,
Right.
but also making sure that I can draw out of them who they are
Right.
and then reflect it back to them so that they feel like themselves in what they wear. So that's kind of like the
The
high
gist
level
of
of
it all.
what I do. The technical parts of what I do is I have this program called Style Foundations, and it's the foundational process for everyone to go through. Every client I work with goes through it, where we really get to know who they are. And that's done through like color draping, silhouette. So, what cuts of clothing to wear, what your style personality is. So, how you want to present yourself, and then lifestyle. Because, like I mentioned at the beginning, is clothing is style is for every part of our lives. So,
Mhm.
even if we're lounging around the house, you still want to wear clothes that feel like you, that
Mhm.
you like. You don't want to feel sloppy in them. You want to feel good in them.
Why?
Why do you want to feel good?
Why do I can't wear sloppy clothes when I'm in my house? I'm
You
just
can wear sloppy clothes,
okay.
absolutely. And if it feels good, but oftentimes people wear sloppy clothes and it drags them down.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
so then they don't even
Absolutely.
rest well,
Yeah.
right? But you
Absolutely.
but you can wear, I have this reel that I did once, called Not Every Sweatshirt is Made the Same. And because a sweatshirt can make you feel amazing
Yes.
and like help you to rest,
Yeah.
and or it can make you feel sloppy and like lethargic and like you don't want to deal with life,
Right.
essentially, right? So why not wear one that makes you feel good so then you can still rest, but you rest
Absolutely.
better.
Shelby, this is your second career. What did you do before this? Before you decided to do the change over to helping us with our
Yeah.
and feeling
Yeah.
better?
So I spent 13 years working in corporate HR.
Get
I,
out.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you said, goodbye, corporate world. I've seen enough of you people in clothing and styles, and I need to help you. Is
Right.
that what you did?
Not really, sort of. So a few years before I left the corporate world, I'd known I wanted to start a business. I just didn't know what it was.
Right.
And I'd always had people, actually, when I was first starting in HR, my brother was in engineering in school for engineering. And he said to me, he's like, Shelby, you should start a personal shopping business because all these engineers are getting great jobs, but they don't know how to dress. And at that point, it wasn't even like, I've always loved clothes and style and how it communicates, but it wasn't even on my radar to
Right.
start a business in that.
Right. Yeah.
And I
You're
was
like,
young and I was afraid and
yeah, of course. You're like Rachel from Friends.
yeah,
Went to the
right.
coffee shop and then
Yeah,
went to clothing, kind
right.
of.
Yeah.
Right. I find this really interesting because where I am at in my age, and especially menopause, because our bodies are now changing,
Yeah.
boobs are getting bigger, we're getting rounder, unfortunately, because of the hormones and stuff. That this is really important for us because we're so hard on our bodies as women,
Totally.
looking in the mirror, going, "Oh, for God's sake, seriously, I just worked out 7 days a week and I'm still fat." And we self-talk this, but if we had someone like you to have those beautiful clothing to make us start to feel better about ourselves, I think that's really important because as it kind of just evolves around that area of self-talk of I
Yeah.
hate shopping. I'm gonna shop
Yeah.
on Amazon because I'll just pick a size and I'll return it because we don't
Yeah.
want to go in to try things on, right? So
Totally.
this is kind of really, really important for people and a lot of women out there, I guess, after having babies, because our bodies change so much, right?
Yeah, any big life transitions, it's like
Um,
we have to adjust how we view ourselves in the
right,
process. And it's interesting. So I have my clients fill out a questionnaire before we meet,
right.
and it's wild to me, but also not surprising how many people, when I ask, like, what do you love about yourself?
Yeah.
There's my eyes or my smile,
Oh,
which are great things to love about yourself. And then we get to the like, what do you struggle with? And there's a long list of things that we
yes,
struggle with. And it's, I feel it too. Trust me. Like it's not like I'm immune
yeah,
to being hard on myself because
yeah.
I am as well. But one thing I've learned is that where our attention goes, energy flows.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And so I have this one client. So she was up from out of town. So she came into the city. And so we did the style foundations one day and then shopping the next day. And so one of the things, and for a lot of women, our focus area is our stomach. Like that's where we have problems.
Absolutely,
So we
yes.
put so much attention on our stomachs. So I asked her, and she's, beautiful lady, mid 50s. So I challenged her. I said, you know what, start putting the attention on something you love. And so I asked her, what is something that you, or at least like about your
Yeah,
body? And she's like, I like my arms. I really like my arms. So
yeah,
I said, okay, I want you to start looking in the mirror, look at your arms, and give that good energy to your arms and
right,
really focus on that. And I saw her the next day for shopping, and she said to me, she's like, Shelly, like this is less than 24 hours later.
right,
She's like, Shelby, I started doing that. And she's like, I woke up feeling 20 pounds lighter.
right. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I believe in that
Right.
100%, 100%.
Yeah. And then you feel differently in the clothes that you wear. And it's really one thing that both as men and women, because I do work with both men and women.
Absolutely, yeah,
So for both of them, but for women in particular, because of what we're, what we learn, what we're taught, all of that stuff,
yeah,
is we have to remember that we don't have to change to fit the clothes.
right,
It's about learning about the right clothes that will suit us and fit us and make us feel good. And it's easy to get in that trap of, well, I should be able to fit into this, or I'm not good enough because I don't fit into this. No, no, it's not about that at all.
right. It's not about getting surgeries to make your everything. It's part of getting the right tools, which is you to help us
Totally.
maneuver through that and going. Okay, that tank top looks really good on me. It might be an extra large, but I love it. It looks good. So it's changing that mindset for women because it's so important right now.
Totally. I had an interesting thought that came up recently as I was working with a client and I was showing her, we had been shopping, and so showing her different things to wear. And as I was reflecting on it with a friend after, she was like, "You're kind of like a habit changer." And I was like, "Yeah, because our clothing is a habit. We
Yes.
go to the same places, we buy the same things.
Color.
We, even if we don't like it, we'll still, it's our habit, it's our comfort zone. And so it's getting out and wearing things differently. And I love that moment of seeing someone see themselves differently.
It's
That's
really
like,
fun. It's
yeah,
just it just glow. You can see the glow from inside.
totally.
Okay, I have a question. What do you think about the high rise pants coming back?
Like
The,
the
the high
high,
rise. Yeah.
yeah, I love it.
Oh, okay.
Well, they've been back for a while.
I know,
For
I know. I just have
why?
never worn one. Well, I did way back in the day, but
Yeah.
I'm like,
So
oh my God.
this is a really interesting topic. Um, so for me, I grew up with low rise. Like, in my early 20s, it was all about the low rise,
Yeah,
and I never liked them. I never felt comfortable in them. But of course, that was the trend. So that's what you wear. You don't really think about anything else. And it's interesting because now that I've learned about like proportions and all of that,
yeah,
for me, having higher waisted pants
right.
is better proportionally for me because I have a long torso. So what that
Right.
does is it shortens my torso and helps me
Okay.
to feel more balanced.
Okay.
So I think for a lot of people, like just not even trend wise, just
Right.
like proportionally, the high waisted pants are brilliant for them versus the low where your belly feels like it's hanging out. However, that being said, it's not for everybody.
Yeah, some for, yeah.
And it's, that's where I've always said, like, I wish that manufacturers have it all, that we'll have
Right.
all the options because we're all different,
We're all
right?
different.
And so it's interesting you say that about like for you putting on that trend brings you back to a time in your life that maybe you don't want to go back to. So it makes
That's when I
sense
was really
why you're like,
skinny. I think my high rises went right below my rib cage. But then again, when I look back at all the photos, because I went home and I was looking at photos, I was like, crap, I lived in track pants because I was an athlete. So
yeah.
track pants, sweatpants. I pretty much didn't have jeans. And if I wore jeans, it was boy jeans because we couldn't
Mhm.
afford the girl jeans. And the boy
Oh,
jeans were cheaper,
yeah.
right? So I remember going and they were comfy. Like they were stretchy and they gave you room and they were comfy. And I was like, ooh, that's change, man. But now they're
Yeah.
back. Boy
Yeah.
jeans for women. I was
Yeah, the baggy, it's interesting. I was with my 13-year-old niece this weekend, and the style now is like, or has been, really baggy jeans with crop tops. And
yeah,
I'm like, I can't do that because that brings me back to when I was in junior high, because that's what I wore.
that's right.
So
That's
same kind of thing. I'm like, I don't want to go back there.
but it's all gonna, it's like full circle.
It is.
Even my mom says it's full circle. And then I'm now wearing elastic pants with drawstrings. I find them jeans or white jeans with rips, and I'm like, these are the freaking comfortable jeans ever. And I'm like,
Oh,
didn't my mom have a pair of
yeah,
those?
right.
That's like,
And you probably made fun of her for having them, and now you're like, oh, these are the
and I
best.
think she still calls them slacks.
Slacks. Yeah.
Slacks. And I was just like, oh my God, I gotta get another pair of these drawstring jeans.
Yeah.
I hate wearing jeans. I'm not a
Yeah.
jean person anyway, so
Yeah.
because I find I'm in like you and I, we work at Orange Theory, so you shower, you get what you can in on, and I'm usually running around in tights the whole time. But when I go out, that's where you like to dress up,
Yeah.
and that's the part where you're like very hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So
Well,
you're
and it's interesting. Yeah, and it's interesting talking about trends because that's one thing. I've never been a trend
follower.
person.
Okay, yeah,
I'm aware of it because of what's available and
yeah,
that kind of thing. But one thing I really try and focus on is style, right?
yeah.
Because your
You agree.
style, and if the trend fits your style, then perfect. But if it doesn't, don't don't go there
Don't
because
go there. I
No.
just get so overwhelmed going into like the Bay or like, I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
So you help with that. Tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about the personal shopping stuff that you do,
Yeah.
because they used to have a personal shopper in the Bay. She was a
Oh,
friend
yeah.
of my girlfriend, but she's gone. And
Yeah.
I think one of the other big Simons has personal shopping. But if somebody wants a personal shopper, what do you do for them?
Yeah, so we start with the style foundation. So this is where we do color draping. So I get to know, okay, what colors will brighten up your
Yeah.
skin, what detract from it. So that helps to narrow things down a little bit
Okay.
on like, okay, what are the best colors for you? Not that you can't play outside of that, but there are certain colors that are best. Then we do silhouette. So what cuts of clothing will be the best for you. There's still some playing around with that because again, we're all so unique in our body. So it's kind of just a starting point to
Yeah.
discover what it is. I go through style personality. So that's how they want to express themselves. And there's so much fun with that. And I recently worked with a client who had a very eclectic style personality. It was so
Hmm.
fun to be able to get her in patterns and
Yeah.
style. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was so fun. So we do that first and I get to know, okay, what is their priority? Because some people it's like, okay, I have stuff for going to work. I want the casual. I want to feel good when I go out for lunch or I go out for dinner. Sometimes it's people are like, no, I'm going back to work or whatever that is. I get to know, okay, what are the priorities for you?
Right.
Some people are like, I need to do it all. Like I'm getting rid of everything in my closet. I want it all.
Yeah.
So we talk about that first, and then I make a plan based on that conversation. And I do an hour and a half to 2 hours before I meet them. I go shopping and I pull all the clothes I want
Oh,
them to
you
try
do by yourself.
on. I do that. Yeah.
All
It's
right.
way more efficient
So
because I
where would you go? Like to the Bay? Like what?
Simon's is one place I'll often go
Yeah.
because like it's very overwhelming to go on your own because
Oh,
there's so much insight
yeah.
Simon's. But for me as a stylist, and I love it because then I can pull a big variety of things.
Yes.
And then that gives us a lot of options in one store. So yeah, they're great for they've
Oh,
been
yeah.
great for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a place I'll often go.
Yeah.
And then I have a few other depending on the person and who they are and what they're looking for. So then, yeah, so I pull it all. Then when we go shopping, we just go, all the clothes are on hold. So they just have to try, their job is to try things on. And then we, narrow things down. Some things work, some things don't. Sometimes we have to change sizes and that's okay. And
Yeah.
we kind of get to play with that. So it's fun. I've had a lot of people who hate shopping be like,
Oh,
well, that was the most like the funnest shopping experience I've ever
oh.
had.
You take a Mickey with you and drink as well, you go along. I was
Well,
thinking like,
you can.
I was like, go, Shelby, go, because I hate
Yeah,
it. I
yeah,
rarely go shopping. I
yeah.
order online. And then that's the other thing too. Now, do you help people who don't want to go in order online too as well?
So
Can you?
yes, yes, I can definitely do that. I don't often get people asking me to do that, but I
I'll be
can.
the
And
first.
perfect. I did that a bit during the pandemic, like when
Yes.
things were shut down. I did a lot more of that where we still did the style foundations and then I went and I put together a whole document of here's all the things that I think
Okay.
you should
Great.
order. We went through that together. They order it.
Yeah.
And then once it all comes in, we do another, like we'll do a Zoom call because for people who aren't here, that's the best way to do it. Or if they don't want to go in, and then they'll try it on and we'll assess as they go and then return what they need to and keep what they can.
That's so good. Thank you.
Yeah. You're like,
Thank God.
and then I have some clients actually who I've been working with for a long time,
Yeah.
where it's not even online. Like we'll talk about, okay, what are they looking for? I'll go and I'll purchase the things and then
Oh,
I bring it to them. They try it on. We make sure like what works and what doesn't, then I return everything.
okay.
So that's kind of more of a premium service, but
Right.
I do offer that as well. Cause yeah, there's some people who are just like, I can't do it, Shelby.
I do it. Well, it's just it's not that I just don't want to be in a place to try on. And it's so funny because like before it was like great to go, let's go shopping. We go shopping with our girlfriends. We take
Yeah.
everything in the change room, we show each other. And now it's like what you get online.
Yeah.
You go through your history. Oh, I like that top. They order the same one in their size. I'm like, oh, why shall we do
Yeah.
that?
The
What?
tricky part with online is like once you get to know certain places that you like and you get to know
Yeah,
their sizing
yeah,
and their styles and that it works for you, then it's good. But it's that trial and error at the beginning because sometimes what you see on the like in the picture,
yeah.
it's you can't really you don't know for sure. The color could come in wrong, the style could be a little bit different. So that's where here's a tip for you is always read the reviews.
Well, that's what I do on
Yeah.
and we have to scroll forever to get to them, but I still go down to reviews
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Because that's where you'll get a good sense of like, is it true to
yeah.
color? Is it true to size?
Yeah. Then that's why I ordered a pair of pants off just recently. Took them out and went, going back, man. And
Yeah.
I should have kept going on the reviews. There were a bazillion of them, but you know how they do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
5 was like this, and then so
Yeah.
the China people got them, the pants, not me. But it was
Yeah.
kind of that's just my just to do
Yeah.
it. And one day I'll go back. I
Yeah.
just don't like I just it's subconscious, like it's probably in my brain, and I fight that all the time, even though I work out and blah blah blah, and I'm in menopause, it's great. And the body has now shifted to another butterfly, which is bigger, larger.
Mm,
And but it's quite hard. But I know when I talk to a lot of women, it's it's tough. And we
really hard.
you need to get yourself out there because that it's a call, even if you just did a call with you and
Yeah.
just get that there's a girl out there that will do this with me.
Yeah.
Would not like and have bags when we leave the store instead of going, shit, I gotta go to the gym and like lose 20 pounds because that didn't fit.
Yeah.
And that's
I've
the
actually had a lot of people once they start viewing themselves differently
yeah,
and they have clothes that they feel
they
good
start.
in, they'll actually not everybody, but a lot of people will start to lose that extra little bit of weight because they suddenly feel better.
Well, I remember, I don't know if you're an affirmation girl, but Louise Hay, I read her book, How to Heal Your Life. And I always look up one of her, she did A to Z kind of affirmation. And one was weight gain and obesity. And what I noticed is that what it meant is that if you gain in the midsection, that's a protection. You're protecting yourself from whatever on the outside world. So the thought pattern would be, I am safe. I
Yeah.
release everything that's holding me back. I am safe. I am well. And yes, of course it happens in a lot of ways, but it's that it's that training that brain, right? That's training the brain. And the other thing I read, and I love him, he's a human biologist. He says women are amazing. We think so much differently than men that we can actually cure our own bodies.
Yeah.
So what we do in the morning though is we start our morning off wrong because we go
Yeah.
to the mirror and what do? We go, fudge my hair, crap, look at a pimple, like, and then that's self-talk. So that whole day will take that self-talk with you throughout the day. So he said, he goes, stand away, stand away so you can't see up close. Half the time I need my glasses anyway, so that's a good thing. And tell your body you're safe. And I do that every morning. I don't stand in front of I walk by my bathroom mirror, take a glance, and I say to myself, I'm good. I am safe. But that's self-talk, and that's what they need from you because every woman is super beautiful out there. We're beautiful.
Totally.
What we do,
Every single woman
what
is
we
beautiful.
do is like my husband just lost 20 pounds in April. I can't even lose 2 pounds in a year. And then we just go down. But we need to turn that around. And that's what you're so good at is turning around. And we're not saying we're all perfect. You're not perfect. You have your history. I've had my history. Everyone has history, but we all get together in a little community and say, you know what? We're safe. I am safe because love yourself is the best thing to do. There's days where I
Well, and
hate.
I love what you talked about with the affirmations
Mhm.
because I'm such a affirmation believer. I went once where I wrote out an affirmation for the same one, a whole page of it for 276 days, every single day.
My school.
Because it's like
Yeah.
it's getting it into your subconscious, right? Because you think about like subconscious is like, it's the inputs, it's what we think about, it's what we do. And
Time.
so sometimes it's that we have to write that out. Another thing I often will get I've done a lot of studying, and I'm continuing to study this, is
Okay.
self-image.
Oh,
And it's that, like, we have this dream of what we want to do or who we want to
right.
be.
Yes.
And we think that's for future, that's for future Shelby, that's for future
Yeah.
Adonica.
Yeah.
And, but we are that person now,
Yeah.
because that dream is within us. We are that person
Right.
right now. And
Yeah.
so it's writing this self-image statement. So what I did was I wrote out how I view myself now.
Yeah.
And then I wrote out who this future, like the person who accomplishes these dreams and this vision, but I wrote it out as if it's happening now. And so I let the one go
Yeah.
of how
Oh,
I
yeah.
currently view myself. And then I write out and I read what is that, as if I am that person now.
Yeah.
It is
Absolutely. Yeah.
wild what that can do.
Oh, I know. Absolutely. And then it's like, we know, Stacy, it's like visualing where we are now. And I do it all the time. And this podcast, and thank you so for taking the time with me, was in my back pocket for 2 years.
Yeah.
I do this. When am I
I'm
going to do
so
this?
glad you did it.
When am I going to do this? And I'm like, I just want women to know that they don't just visualize what you want in your life. And that's so super important. And what you do with our style and our clothing is so super important too as well, because I've seen product. I remember sitting at, I'm just gonna say Stacy, on the stage, and I went, oh my God, her outfit. And you went, I was like, sure.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, like it was just, and she looked vibrant, and you could tell by how happy she was, how she was dressed, the way she was to be a keynote speaker on stage. Now,
Yeah.
talk about keynote speaker, because in here you are.
Yeah.
Tell me what you do. What
Yeah.
do you do? Who
Yeah.
you heard you speak?
Well, I've spoken at a few women's conferences. So yeah,
This be chills.
yeah, I love it. I had this dream
Oh,
this vision that came to me when I was about 16, 17 years old.
yeah.
And it was like, you are going to be a professional speaker in front of thousands of
Yeah.
people. And I hid it for a long time, or I just kind of downplayed it. And finally, in the last, well, I would say the last 5 years, because I started with like, okay, like I'm good at it, but I need some more
Yeah.
training. So I
Yeah.
went to Toastmasters. I spent 3.5 years in Toastmasters. And through that time, I started, speaking on some stages and
Yeah.
some conferences, some smaller groups, like networking groups and stuff like that too. And then I took a program where I did some advanced speaking training, and I've just like slowly built it. And I I feel like I'm me when I'm doing it. And it's not about me. I don't care about having the eyes on me, but why I do it is because it's in me.
Yeah.
And
So
it's like I have this thing that needs to be shared. And like my core vision for my life is that I want to move people to know their raw and authentic selves.
right.
And style is the way I do it, but it starts internal. And that's what I love speaking about, is being able to start that internal and then use clothing as a communication tool to communicate who we are.
Yeah, it's
So
kind of neat. I've heard you speak. And I was like, okay, you need to get a course going.
yeah.
Help
Yeah.
people. And I was like, I'll be there. But
Right.
you're natural at it. You're beautiful when you talk, because I could feel the power within. We both have talked
Mhm.
at our
Mhm.
networking, but I could feel the power. And that's why I was just like, wow, she's wow. I could listen to you forever, because you're a
Mhm.
storyteller. And I
Yeah.
think with storytelling comes, again, the inside to the outside. And
Yeah.
it's kind of such a great key, because I think everybody has a story. And the
Yeah.
other thing, I think everybody has a legacy. And I'll always remember, like for you, if everyone asks me, tell me about Shelby. Let me tell you how beautiful this lady is. Let me tell you that she runs with eyeglasses on the treadmill, and she doesn't give a shit. Never, like, it's like this will come out because that's how you present yourself. And you're such a beautiful soul. And I just love having you in my life, by the way. because we've
Hmm.
only known each other for a short time, but we just clicked and it's been so fantastic. You yet have
Yeah.
to come to my closet. I keep cleaning it out. I'm like, oh God. Okay, I'll get her in.
Just get Shelby in, get her to it.
Let's do it as a group. Now, are you going to be doing, because I talked to you before this, little parties where I can get a bunch of ladies together where we can go through colors and have some wine, some cheese, whatever. And
Totally.
yeah,
I
are you
love doing those.
okay?
Yeah.
So
I
do
do
it.
some, I've just started doing some like public ones again, but I love doing the private ones where it's like someone gets, 5 to 6 people
Yeah,
together. You do the color draping, we'll do the silhouette, you get all the strategies for it.
perfect.
And, it's an opportunity. You even bring a few things from your closet that you struggle with, and we can talk about why you might struggle with it or how to wear it differently.
Okay.
It's just such a fun time. And it gives you like with a group, it can give you this like common language
All
and
right.
foundation, and then you understand, and you even get to understand each other more, right? It's such a different,
Introduction to you, right? It's kind of an introduction to you, which is
totally.
really cool. Instead of somebody going, I don't know if I want to call her. I'm a
Yeah.
little scared. So this way,
Yeah.
it's a great introduction for people to get together, like
Yeah.
5, 6 ladies, and have a little bit of wine, giggle,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
laugh, and
Totally.
have a little bit of a community
Yeah.
of getting well, which
Yeah.
is really what you want, and getting into our authentic self. And that's
Yeah.
kind of like a little bit of spreading the word too as well, which I
Yeah.
love about doing that. And I look forward to planning something in the fall when I get back into Edmonton with you, and we'll do one at my
Yeah.
house, and I think we're gonna have a blast.
Totally.
Go through my
It's so
closet.
much
I have onesies that you're gonna go, God damn it, Donica. Maybe you should put that away.
fun.
It's like, oh, that's my favorite clothes. And you're
Well, okay, so this is a good point, because oftentimes people, when they think of someone coming into their closet, they feel very
ah,
intimidated because
yeah,
they think like the what not to wear,
yeah,
right? I
like
don't know
not
if
to
you
wear.
remember that show, but it's
Oh
like,
yeah,
like get rid of this. What are you
yeah.
thinking?
Throw it
And
away. Why is it all
and
black?
that's not how I approach it at all.
Yeah,
I'll be real with you, and I get to know the person. Like, okay, how far can we
yeah,
go here?
yeah.
I usually find like I understand the personal nature of
Right.
what I do,
Yeah,
and I'm in your
absolutely. Yeah,
closet. Like
yeah,
that's a very personal place to do, and that's why I'm really good at what I do, because I hold space for that and I understand that, and I'll push you a little bit,
yeah,
but it's all about educating and learning and growing through it, not feeling torn down through it.
yeah. It's like let's move on to being 59.
Yeah,
Leave that over there, but the beautiful clothes for 59. So you can still
totally.
be sexy in, and
Totally.
yeah, absolutely. Now, I wanted to talk about your quirkiness because you're so funny. I can see you doing this because we're going to wrap it up, but we're going to put all your information here. So if anybody wants to have a little get together, or get in contact with you, we'll put it on with the show. But when I read your quirkiness, you're like me. Who wants to smile when you can make a funny face?
Right?
Do it all the time. Do you do it in family photos? I do.
Oh, totally. I'll do
Okay.
like one nice one,
Let me
but
do.
then it's like then I want to make a funny face. So I have this
And-
picture of me and my siblings.
yeah.
It's at my younger brother's wedding,
Yeah.
and it's this the only picture we have of the 4 siblings. And the other three are like nice smiles, and then there's me being like,
Are you the youngest?
I'm the second.
Okay. Oh, there is second. So my brothers are the same. So I will smile, and then they'll turn around and they have this face. They hate their picture done. And I was just like, my mother's like, can I just get a great picture of you, the three of you? So then all three of us will do a funny face. And I think that's a
Yeah,
fantastic way to just show off that really quirky personality,
yeah.
because you're not always serious. You're not always a businesswoman. You
No.
just love to have that roundabout humor in you, because I
Yeah,
think you're hilarious.
yeah,
So we've laughed a lot, you and I.
yeah.
So but it's quite kind of a great thing too, is yeah, you can't take yourself too seriously, man.
No, that's the thing
God
is
no.
like, yeah.
Rest. Like if you had to do that every day, when I'm here by myself and I just have the cat, I talk to the cat all the time. And if I
Yeah,
can't laugh at yourself,
yeah.
like, come on, lighten up. And I'll
Right?
be saying that out loud to myself. I'm like, and the cat's like looking at me, she'll just look at me and go, and I'm like, okay, fine. I won't talk to you anymore. But yeah, you just have to lighten up. But I know that you're hilarious, so it's fantastic. Okay, so one takeaway we can take from this podcast, what's your best advice that people can hold on to before they get in contact with you to change how they feel? What's that one piece of advice that will resonate with everybody out there, even men, women,
Yeah,
students, everything?
yeah,
What's the one
everyone.
advice you got?
Well, it's what we talked about earlier is where your attention goes,
Mhm.
energy flows. And remember that because when you wake up in the morning and the first thing you are being really hard on yourself is learn to pause when that happens. And instead of being hard on yourself about being hard on yourself, pause and find something that you can put that energy into. Even if it's like, I love my shoulders
Yeah,
and have that first thing in the
yeah,
morning. Look at those amazing shoulders. I
yeah,
got great shoulders.
yeah,
Whatever that is for you,
yeah,
start with shifting your mindset on that and it'll change your life.
yeah. And you'll feel better all day instead of
Oh,
having that negative overtone of your day. Even though you're happy, you still have that negative overtone because you
yeah,
started that day. You're fresh in the morning.
yeah,
So your brain is fresh. So
yeah,
give it some positivity instead
yeah,
of being hard on it.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you, Shelby, for
Thank you
being
for having me.
here. Yeah, it was fantastic. Wait, I gotta put my glasses on so I can see the stop button. Hang
Okay.
on. It's like a librarian.
Yeah, I love them. They're great glasses.
Oh, I get a lot of compliments about these. That's another thing you should be. Do you do glasses too? Oh, sorry, people. Do you do glasses too?
I help advise on glasses.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's like another thing. She does helps advise.
Yeah,
Perfect. Well,
totally.
we'll come back to you. We should do it
Okay.
after we do my little party because we're
Yeah.
gonna do one. I'll get a couple girls together and we'll come back and let's do it and we'll talk again. And good luck with
Yeah.
everything and
Thank you.
have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.